Okay, had a dream. I don't know where to begin with it, really. I was in our home in West Virginia when I used to live there. Um, but then it felt like my mother-in-law's home, my in-laws' home in West Virginia. Like the yard and everything. It's um well, it's Wednesday. It's June, I think. Is it the 25th today? 25, June 25, 25. I don't know, but it's 7:36 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Um, Something just happened. My fan went off and on. Like I heard it kick off and kick on, and it's like my electricity went off and on for some reason, and it woke me up at 7:30. I was just laying there thinking about the dream, but okay, so it's like I was in the home and there was a lot of people in the home. It was almost like a lot of my family was there. Not like a family reunion, but a lot of my family was there. Um, and oh gosh, it's so hard. Um, I remember laying in bed in my West Virginia home with my husband in the master bedroom. I remember we were sleeping. I remember it almost seemed like we had daughters, which are in real life were my nieces when they were like maybe in middle school. Okay, time, I don't know, something like that. And I remember one of them peered into the room and then walked out, and I watched her. I was laying there and I watched her walk out the house. I don't know how from the master bedroom, but I did. I watched her walk out the house, walk across the yard, go into another building that was like a guest home or something that we never had. No one ever had, but went into a guest home. And I was like, huh, like she can't go out there by herself. It's really late or it's dark. Like she can't be outside. And then she went into the guest home and I was like, okay. And I could see through the window, like from the master bedroom or something, into that guest home. And I could tell that her dad was in that guest home, and I was like, "Oh, she's gonna go spend time with her dad or something." And then I looked and I was like, "Oh, my sister." Right? So my sister Lola was sitting in a chair in there, um, and they were watching TV and she was talking. It was late at night. I was like, "Man, she never stays up late." Like, here I am in bed, like, she never stays up late. What is going on? Right? And, I knew it was, like, 2 AM. It was, like, 2 in the morning, and people were still up doing things. I was like, "Man," like, it seemed like they were visiting me or something, and I was like, "Well, maybe I need to get up and spend some time with them or something," right? Or at least go up and be with her. And, then all of a sudden these are just the parts I remember. Then all of a sudden, she's standing in front of the end of the bed. Like she's standing in the master bedroom at the end of the bed. And my husband and I, like my husband's sleeping. I'm awake, laying there, you know. And she says something like, I think it's morning at this point because it seems like it's daylight outside. I don't know. But I had just, it was like 2 in the morning still, but it was daylight. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know, like early morning or something. And she said something like, I don't I don't know. She said something. She was talking to me, and I stood up out of the bed a little bit, like I was gonna sit up and everything, and then I put my, to stand up, and she started telling me, um, it's so weird. I'm sorry. She started telling me that Trump was making missiles on a ship or doing something. Trump was doing something like attacks, or there was something going on. Okay. And she said, I don't think you're going to be able to go home. Like as if we were just all visiting there for some reason and I had to go home. Like I had to fly home to go home, to go back home. It was really weird because I'm laying there with my husband. I'm in this home that's mine, but she's like, I don't think you're going to be able to go back home. And she's telling me about Trump and things going on. Okay. And my husband starts talking in his sleep and he starts like smiling and kinda laughing or something a little bit, and he says something like he's talking to her. You know how someone just, like, is in the conversation when they're in the sleep or something, they sleep talk, and they don't really know what they're saying, but they know what they're saying, you know? And I was like, "She's not talking to you, she's talking to me," right? And, he said something he said something when she was talking about Trump doing something, like with the missiles or attacks or something. He said something like, "Oh, yeah, I was there. It was fun," or something like that. It was weird. Like, he was like, "Yeah, I was there. It was fun." And I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh my goodness, he's talking in his sleep, right?" So, she's like, "Yeah, I don't think you're gonna be able to get home or go home. Like, I don't think you're gonna be able to leave or go home." And so I follow her out the bedroom door, and we're walking down the hallway. And then all of a sudden, she's like, I'm not following her. We're not talking anymore. But I'm walking down the hallway and I go to the dining room, like in my West Virginia home. I go to the dining room. It has double doors by it. It's open to the living room by the kitchen. And I look at our dining room table, and at the head of the table, my mom is sitting. And then beside her, my sister is sitting. And it's like, people are there, but it's in right now in that home, it's just my mom sitting and my sister sitting. And I said, okay, I'll be right back or whatever, because I had to go and use the bathroom or something. So I was like, I'll be right back. And then I thought that I'd like get coffee and come sit with them or talk or whatever, right? And so I head back down the hallway, but I take my first right and I go to look and like feel for the switch. And I was like, oh, wait, the light switch isn't here. And I step in and I was like, wait, why did I just turn on the light to the kitchen? And I was like, I needed to go to the bathroom. So I step back out of the kitchen. I keep going down the hallway and it's the second right. So I go into that door and I'm in the bathroom and I know that there's still like a lot of people in the house. There's other men in the house that are in the family. I can't remember who they are. I think I just don't know. I think one of them maybe was like my uncle named Danny. That was my mom's brother. Okay, or is my mom's brother. Okay. Um, and a family member named Rick, and then just some other people. I don't know. And then, so I'm in this bathroom, and it's our old bathroom in our West Virginia home, and but I didn't feel like it was mine. I felt like it was actually my mother-in-law's house. Like I was visiting in my mother-in-law's house in West Virginia, okay? And, I needed to use the bathroom, so I looked at the toilet and I was like, "Man, the seat's gone." Like it was off, so it was just the ring of the toilet, porcelain toilet that you're gonna sit on, but it was weird because it was like the toilet was mainly closed, like it didn't have the hole opening. It was just this long slit. Okay, so it was like a round or oval toilet bowl, right? But it didn't have the opening. It was this thin, long slit down the middle, like, right? And I was like, um, man, and it was just a little like dirty, like if, like if the ring hadn't been cleaned or something. And I was like, man, I hate using other people's toilets or whatever. Um, And I was like, "I'm gonna have to hover to, like, use the bathroom," and here we go again. I don't know, I had to poop, and this symbolizes something. All the time, it symbolizes something. I don't know, I woke up with the Lord thinking, "What is it about me, dreams, and pooping? I don't understand, Lord. Like, who am I representing? What is going on? Is something wrong?" Right? And, oh, I forgot a whole part. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me finish this and I'll go back. Okay, so I'm hovering, like I don't want to sit on the ring, but I could feel the back of my thighs hitting the ring, and I'm like, oh man, it's dirty, right? And I was trying to use the bathroom, but I was like constipated, I couldn't go, and I was like praying to the Lord. I was like, Lord, help me poop. Lord, help me poop. Like, please, like, you know, and, I was praying, then I started pooping a little bit, and I'd pray like, "God, just help me poop," right? And, that was the end of the dream. That was and I knew that the poop I was like, "Man, how's it gonna fall in this little slit of a line, this little slit of a line on this toilet," but it was, like, falling into it, I don't know. It was weird, and I knew that people, like, were outside, like, the men were outside, and things were going on, okay? But that was the dream. Now, when she told me, "I don't think you'll be able to go home," I got up and I followed her out. I was following her out of the master bedroom, my sister, and I said, "I've got to go home. I, like, I have to get home to my baby. My husband has to go to work. He can't take off anymore. Like, he can't take off anymore. He can't be on vacation." Like, he had taken off work to take care of the baby or something, okay? And I have this picture of a baby in my head, and what's funny is that I thought the baby was, for some reason, my second son, Cameron, okay? But he looked like my daughter when she was a baby. So he looked like more like my daughter with black curls and little skinny little baby girl, little thing. And I said, "No, he's got to go back to work." And I was like, something about the baby is like only 2 weeks. And I was like, "Wait, no, the baby's 2 months." And I was like, why don't I know how old my baby is? I was like, "Why do I not know how old my baby is?" And then I was thinking, and then it hit me. I didn't say it, but I was like, "Why did I leave my baby? Like, if it was so young, like that's weird." You know? I never do that. I've never done that, whatever. Why'd I leave my baby? But what's weird is that I was in the master bedroom in West Virginia, like in this dream, and my husband was in the bed. Like my husband now, he was in the bed in the bedroom, and he's the one that said, um, yeah, it was funny I was there or something, or that was fun I was there or something. Um, and But I was talking about I had to get home to my husband because the baby was like 2 weeks old or 2 months old or something like that. And then I started walking down the hallway, and then that's when I saw my mom and my sister sitting at the dining room table. And, again, my mom is passed. She's been gone for 6 years. She's a dead in Christ, and my sister's in Maine, and it always seems to me like Maine's a wilderness, like, Revelation 12 woman, wilderness type thing. Um, so I'm still gotta think about this dream with the Lord and ask him about it, but I wanted to record it. And then all of a sudden my electricity or something flipped out or something happened. Um, okay. Okay, I'm recording this as I get it from the Lord a little bit, talking over the dream. So as I got off recording the dream, I went onto YouTube to see if something was going on. And immediately, Trump being at NATO and what he was saying about the attack on Iran was like Hiroshima. It was like equivalent to Hiroshima, okay? And it's like him talking. And I noticed the emblem or not the flag, but the NATO thing and behind him. And it completely reminded me of a compass, right? And then the Lord was like, your compass bookmark that you said yesterday when you were filming, doing my video yesterday, okay, that my compass bookmark fell out of my Bible and it's never done that. And so I knew he was leading me to where it usually sits, and that's in Daniel 12. Okay. And I was like, guys, we're here at Daniel 12, right? Like Daniel 12, come on. Y'all need to know. And so I was like, yeah, that's my compass bookmark. Daniel 12. So he's leading me to Daniel 12 again. Then I went to go lay down and I was talking over over the dream with the Lord, and he was taking me through the babies. I was like, why didn't I know the baby age? Like why didn't I know my baby age? And why did I see it as my son and my daughter? And so he was talking to me and he goes, I gave you 3 twos in that dream. One, I gave you 2 a.m., I gave you 2 weeks, and I gave you 2 months, and that's a 222. Okay, heart flame of God. And I was like, okay. And I was like, but I'm always pooping in the dream. I don't understand. And then I was talking about the baby, and I said, I don't understand why I don't, you know, um, know the baby age. And he said, okay, 2 weeks from I've been giving you 2 weeks. You said that would be, when I calculated, I said it would be July 4th, right? From when Trump first did a delay of 2 weeks. So it had been July 4th. And the Lord had been giving me 2 weeks and 14, 14, 14, 14. Okay. Well, the other morning I woke up and I said August out of nowhere. Like the Lord gave me August. Well, 2 months from July would be September, okay? These are all dates I've gotten as well. He said, Cameron, so my second son, okay, he lives in New York right now, okay? So be careful in New York, be careful on the East Coast and the West Coast, but New York is gonna get hit, right? Or things happen. I said, okay, Cameron was born July 2nd. Okay, he was born July 2nd. And I said the baby reminded me of Cameron, but then turned to my daughter. Like it looked like my daughter. Well, my daughter was born in September 27th. Okay. And then um, I was thinking, I was like, okay, so uh, from July into September, that's 2 months in between, right? July to August and August to September. So that's 2 months. So that tells me right there, that's the 2 months, July to August, August, September. And that's why I saw the baby is Cameron, but then my daughter. Okay. Then, he was like, "How old are they apart?" And I was like, "7 years." And I was like, "Okay, they're 7 years apart." That reminds me of 7-year tribulation. Okay. Then, I was like, "Okay, if the 7-year tribulation, you showed me Cameron first as the baby, right? Like, I knew it was Cameron in my heart. I knew it was Cameron, but it looked like my daughter, okay, when she was a baby. But it says in Revelation 12, it says the Revelation 12 woman had the child, a son, and the son was caught up to God. So that means rapture, right? Caught up to God. Um, so that's why I realized it was Cameron, but the Revelation 12 woman's like Jerusalem, right? Um, and so it's like the rapture. I saw the baby boy first, okay? And then second, I saw it as my daughter. So Jerusalem in the second coming, like New Jerusalem and Jerusalem the second coming. So first rapture, and then there's 7 years in between my son and my daughter, and then the second coming, New Jerusalem being saved, as the baby being saved, New Jerusalem, right? A new baby. Um, when Jesus comes down with New Jerusalem at the second coming. Okay, so that's what he's given me so far. Okay, so I'm in my master bedroom. Okay, um, in the dream, and I'm laying with my husband. A master bedroom's a chamber, like an inner chamber, right? Your secret place or an inner chamber. Um, I'm seeing my niece, which okay, and my sister and people like that. I'm seeing them in another guest house, like in another thing with their dad, like my niece, like spending time with her dad, like she snuck out, like not out of the house, like snuck out, but everybody was sleeping or whatever. And she went out and she went into another guest home to be with her dad, to spend time with her dad or something. Um, and I'm like in the dream laying in my marriage bed. It's a marriage bed, right? That's what a master bedroom is, right? It's a marriage bed. And somehow I think it's like sleeping with the enemy. Like I'm Israel, like I'm Jerusalem, I'm the Revelation 12 woman again, and I'm sleeping with the enemy. Because when my sister came in and said, "I don't think you're gonna be able to get home," and she was telling me about Trump and something about um doing something like hitting or missiles or something. He was doing something. I wish I could remember that perfectly. Um, but she said, "I don't think you'll be able to get home." But my husband was sleeping, but he was sleep talking, remember? And he kind of laughed and he goes, um, "Yeah, I was there. That was fun." Right. And in my head, I was like looking at him because I was standing with my sister at the foot of the bed then. I was looking at him and I was like, "What?" Right? Because it felt evil. Like it felt, and in my head, I could see like what he was talking about, where he was. And it was like, for some reason, I thought it was sunny, like daytime. Like it kind of reminded me of peace, right? And then sudden destruction, right? Like peace, it's sunny, sunny day, it's calm. And I could see like, just a hit out of nowhere, like got like Jerusalem or Israel, like Jerusalem got hit out of nowhere or something like that. And my husband was saying, "Yeah, I was there. It was fun," which makes me think that I was like in bed with the enemy, like, like in when Israel's going to take in and, the Antichrist um, and then they're going to realize what they've done or whatever. And I was like, my sister was telling me, I don't think you're going to be able to get home, like, to the baby. Like, I don't think you'll be able to get home to your husband. Because remember, I was like, my husband had to take off work and I have to get home because my husband has to go back to work. And I need to get home to my baby, like, that was just born. And I knew that I had been left. The rapture had happened. I couldn't get home. I'm in bed with the enemy, um, who was my husband, but a different husband, right? It was weird, but it's like Jesus, it's like God, Jesus, and the Antichrist, okay? And um, I knew I wasn't going to be able to get back because it's tribulation. Like, the rapture's happened, it's tribulation. There's that 7 years. I'm in it. Um, but yeah. Okay, and I always say this, that house in West Virginia that we used to live in, all of us, like, got hurt in. Like, there was so much spiritual warfare in that house and a demonic presence, like, it was so bad. I was constantly in spiritual warfare battle in that house, and trying to cover my children and things like that. Um, and so that's what this is. It's a spiritual warfare and a physical warfare, war at both ends. You know, the candles are lit at both ends. The candle's lit at both ends. It's burning at both ends. There's a physical warfare and there's spiritual warfare, right? Okay, guys, I'm going to try and get through this quick. It is 3:19 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's still June 25, 25. There's my 2 quarters. Like 25s, right? I get 25s and 2 quarters and things like that. I also have been given 2 quarters and a dime. So this morning when I saw that it was 25, 25, the date, I was like, I wonder if the dime is October 25, 25, right? I don't know. Okay. There's a lot of news coming out. I'm going to read the scripture that the Lord gave me, and then He gave me 3 more dreams I'm going to work through really quick. Okay. But while I'm sitting here, I'm going to read what He showed me on the news because it popped up without me putting my internet on. But I'm assuming we're about to get, it says storms we're having for the next couple of days. So I want to get this up. And my light flickered. My lights are flickering. And I was like, it did it the other day too, and there was no storms. Like, my lights flickered yesterday and there was no storms. And I was like, I wonder if someone's playing with the grid. Like, lights about to go down or something. I don't know, is the way I felt. Okay. Um, so I saw this. Okay. It says 9 hours ago, Prince Harry's latest move is a direct challenge to King Charles. Not going into it, just reading. 3 hours ago, Trump says U.S. will meet with Iran next week. 1 hour ago, Israel, Iran live updates. Trump again claims obliteration of Iran nuclear sites. Um, the Lord gave me a long time ago Iran's nuclear capabilities, so they're not obliterated. Okay. Um, then 11 hours ago, California weather, earthquake hits Los Angeles area as locals terrified. Um, okay, something about something like pestilence going through travelers um, at 4 popular destinations. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, and this was one of the last ones that caught my attention really quick. Um, remember I had a dream that I was like, why is muskrat in my home at my dinner table? And he was trying to be very, it was almost like you got mesmerized by him, like he just got you to like him or something, right? He was very sneaky snake, right? Muskrat. And he pulled me close to him. I can't remember everything that went on, but he pulled me close to him, and he was trying to look into my right eye. Like he put his right eye to my right eye to see inside. And I was like, no. And I kind of moved it, you know. So it reminds me of the mark, and like if you have, like, he could see something inside, like um what is it? You know, when they're scanning your faces and they scan your retina and do things like that. Okay, that's what it reminded me of. I had that a while back. It's on my channel. But I just saw this. It says 17 hours ago, nearly 700-acre data center campus coming to um, my area. And I was like, why is E Muskrat at my table? How did I let, and I knew when I woke up from that dream, I was like, how am I letting the B system in? How am I letting the mark in? What is going on? But I knew, I was like, I know, Lord, TV, cell phones, it's all here, right? It's all around me and they're watching, right? But now it's like, as soon as I read that, I was like, oh yeah, it's at my dinner table. You know, it's at my dinner table. Um, Surveillance, mark of the beast, getting everything ready. Okay. So now I'm going to move on. Um, the dreams you just listened to. Oh, thank you, Lord. He reminded me yesterday. Okay, at 9:44 p.m., I believe it was. Yeah, yesterday, so Tuesday at 9:44 p.m. I was supposed to put it on yesterday's video, and I was sitting, he goes, "You keep forgetting to talk about Williamsburg." And I was like, "Oh, I forgot to put it on the video." So at 10:59 p.m., um or no, yeah, something, I reminded myself, and I forgot to talk about Williamsburg. Okay, so Williamsburg, Virginia, I've put this out a lot. Has to do with independence and has to do with the revolution and the wars and things like that. And I was like, is something going to happen in Williamsburg? Is it going to be attacked? Are you just bringing that up because of like the Civil War and the revolutions and people like enemy on our land, right? But Williamsburg always has big things going on around, like 4th of July and things like that. And they do reenactments and then fireworks. And I've had those a lot in my dreams. If you look back in my videos, I have a lot about Williamsburg too. And that he showed me. Okay. Then why did I say that, Lord? Okay. The reason I said that is because he gave me 103 Strongs. At what time? 103 Strongs early yesterday morning. Okay. So 103 Strongs, stay with me. Stay right here with me so you can see. 103 Strongs means to gather, to collect, to gather, to collect. Okay. It always reminds me of the rapture. He is gathering or collecting the 144,000 or the rapture. Okay. It also means to sing. It reminds me of singing praises, to sing. Okay. Um, Singing and making music in your hearts to the Lord, filled with the Spirit. Um, Filled with the Spirit in the second, singing rises from the word of Christ, dwelling richly within, so that thanksgiving, admonition, and thanksgiving are intertwined with melody. Okay. So then when he gave me 103 Strongs earlier, um, 103 Strongs has a street.
Like I was looking up 103, and before I put Strong's, normally my search engine will automatically put Strong's in for me, and I just hit it. Always does it because I look it up so much, right? But it would not give me Strong's. It kept giving me a street number, and it was in Williamsburg, Virginia. So 103, and it would give me street numbers in Williamsburg, Virginia. Strong's, nowhere to be found on my search engine. And I was like, okay, Lord, I hear you. You're talking about Williamsburg again as well. Okay. Then all of a sudden, as I'm typing that to myself, my daughter starts singing in the kitchen, Midnight Cry. And at the midnight cry, we'll be going home. Right? Okay. Um, okay. Talks about when Jesus steps out. Okay. On the clouds call God's children, the dead in Christ shall rise. I'm sorry, my voice is really low, but man, that song, come on. Okay. Um, and then my daughter, he reminded me of my daughter's dream. Okay, she put it on her channel. So I'm going to keep trying to put those in the description or the comment box so you can see their channels if you want to see my daughter and my son. Okay. Then I was watching the Miniver story. He kept you're pulling me to watch the Miniver story. Yes, I know, but he has been putting these in front of me. It's an old movie, okay? And I had a dream yesterday, so I watched it. I finally broke down and watched it last night. I was like, "Okay, I'll watch it." Okay. And I've seen it before throughout my life, but it's about the end of the war, a war being like peace, ceasefire, like peace and the end, and them trying to reestablish and rebuild. And the main actress in there, her name in the movie is Kay. Okay. Well, yesterday I had that dream, and I said I was at my mother-in-law's house. I had my mother-in-law in the dream. She was giving me a baby shower and things like that, right? But but the baby shower was smaller. Okay. Um and my mother-in-law's name is Kay. Okay. So I was like, "Okay, like Kay." Okay. Um, then in the Miniver story, old movie, okay, Kay finds out in this movie, I'm not talking about my mother-in-law here, but Kay finds out she's got 6 months to a year. She has, I believe, cancer, okay, but 6 months to a year. So then, um they keep talking, the father in the movie keeps talking about Annie, get your gun, Annie. And I was like, there's Annie again, there is Annie. It's in 1928, or he mentions something going on. Oh, Annie, get your gun. um Annie, get your gun, the play in 1928, he mentions that. Okay. And then she knows that she'll be gone when she tells her husband. Kay says, he goes, she'll be gone by autumn. When the leaves turn, she'll be gone by autumn. Okay. And she does. She passes in autumn. Okay. Then I was led to watch this thing. It's a little harsh on the hearing, so watch little one's ears and yourselves. But it was a reporter talking about the Russian military and how they're resulting to cannibalism. Okay. And it's not the first time. They did it with the siege of the um, World War II. Okay. World War II. They did it with the siege in Leningrad. Um, and it says they documented cannibalism during famine. Okay, and I was like, "Oh," and everything that my daughter and I keep getting about that, about cannibalism, and we put out faithfully because God's giving it to us, okay? It's just warnings, and it's like, you don't want to be here. Trust Jesus. You don't want to be here. Okay. Then at 7:31 a.m., I put at 7:30. Oh, okay. So late last night, my light started flickering, and I was like, there's no storm. What is going on? And I started thinking that maybe something was like testing the grid. Okay. Then we went to bed. Okay. And I did the dream. I woke up and did the dream. And then I laid back down around 9. Okay. But at 7 30 this morning, when I woke up to first record the dream you just heard, at 7:30 this morning, my fan turned on and off. And I was like, what's going on? So my electricity went out and came back on again. Okay. But the fan in my room woke me up because it was like conk conk, right? And then I woke up and did that dream that you just listened to at the beginning. So when I laid back down, I was like tired, didn't feel good today. Okay. I had another dream. Okay. So stay with me here. Um, I had 2 dreams. I just don't remember all of it on all of them. Okay. But I had another dream. One of the dreams, um, I was with my daughter and we were talking to a police officer, a woman police officer, but I was talking to some girls that we used to know in when she did cheer, like all-star cheer. And the team name, well, the gym name, the whole gym name, the organization was called USA. Okay. So whenever I get that gym in a dream or that owner of that gym, it reminds me of our country, USA, because the gym was called USA. And she did competitions for USA in cheer and in dance. Okay. So that's what it was. We were talking to some of the girls that were in the USA cheer with my daughter. We were talking about why the team was breaking down, why she left, things were going on. I don't know why there was a woman police officer at the end talking with us. I have no clue. But every time I saw the owner of the USA for some reason, or she was talking to us or the owner, it was not the true owner that I know of that gym. It was, and I had to look up her name again to remember, it was Abby Lee Miller. Abby Lee Miller from Dance Moms. And she did a reality show called Dance Moms. Um, on Lifetime from 2011 to 2019. And it says Abby Lee Miller started her dance company in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, right? And later in Los Angeles. And I think that's the reason I'm getting her is because of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania and Los Angeles, California. Okay. I think that's how the Lord let me see it, that I would know those areas. Um, then we were leaving and my daughter was getting in her truck. She drove this truck and she was putting her dog Bella inside the truck, and I was like, you can't leave the other one, like go get the other dog or something. I don't know. And so we were leaving, and as I woke up, I got these 2 words from the Lord. Okay, and I wrote them in my phone at 2:12 p.m. It's when I reminded myself. But 2 words from the Lord. Pack your bags, pack your bags. And the second one was bloodlines. I got bloodlines again. And I was like, Lord, you keep giving me bloodlines. Like just that movie he led me to. I didn't watch it, but that movie, Final Destination, Bloodlines, that the name is Final Destination, Bloodlines. Okay. And I was like, what is going on with bloodlines? And I was like, pack your bags. One, I think it's like they're tracing bloodlines with all this data thing, and who do you follow, Jesus or not? Like whose blood is on you, the mark or Jesus? Okay. Bloodlines also, like, are they going to trace people back? Like you can't be here unless they can find you in Plymouth Rock, like coming over on the Mayflower. Um, kind of like the Iranian race, like making a perfect nation, making a perfect world, right? Um, Bloodlines. I was like, are they going to trace someone back? Like, are they going to try and say that the Antichrist has the bloodline of Jesus? Um, so you should follow him. Um, what is it? There's so many bloodlines. So many people trying to prove like who they are and find out their history. And why do you think they got you to do that? Like swab to show who you are, like what lineage you're from. That wasn't just so you could have a fun thing to do. They were tracking you, trying to see who you were, right? Seriously, they were tracking you to see who you were, and they would have a data. They would easily, you'd be giving up a data bank of your DNA, and they would keep it. Okay. Um, I've always thought that they were looking for the 144,000 are those with Jewish ancestry. Then he reminded me of like just like they marked in World War II, like just how they marked the Jews with the Star of David and that said Jews on it, so they would ostracize them or hurt them or whatever, right? They they're going to mark people, okay, for who's for and who's against. Okay, who's for the Antichrist and who's against, who's taken the mark, who's not. Okay. Um, then, then I was led to, um, Minister Paul, Pearls of Wisdom popped up, and I don't know how to say this, Enosis, MOCs, like many people won't, this young man, I watch him sometimes, but Enosis or MOCs or whatever, he put on, it says, many people, Jesus is coming and many people won't be prepared. Okay. Then Minister Paul came up. And Minister Paul is talking about a bio attack drill scenario ran for 4th of July. Now, listen, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So, a scenario is something you run like as if something's going to happen. Remember, I keep getting like my son's birthday, July 2nd, then July 3rd, and July 4th. Okay. They ran this scenario in 2024. Okay. And I'm going to read the little part that he read. Joint inquiry into administration and congressional actions before and during the bioterrorist attacks. Okay. This is a scenario. A scenario. Wake up. Before and during the bioterrorist attacks of July 4th, 2025. Now, remember, they ran this scenario back in 2024. They picked a date being July 4th, 2025, as if something would happen. U.S. House of Representatives Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence and U.S. Senate Select Committee on Intelligence. Now, listen, it says chair. I call this first hearing of the joint inquiry in order or to order. 9 weeks ago, some nation or terrorist group, we still do not know who, some nation or terrorist group, we still do not know who, 9 weeks ago, okay, attacked the nation's capital and other U.S. cities with biological weapons as we celebrated Independence Day. The infectious agent they used um, did away with at least 280,000 Americans and infected at least 400,000 throughout the country in a single day. In addition to 200,000 passed and 800,000 sickened animals. 800,000 sickened animals. Okay, they're going to kill off the animals too, but those sickened animals could turn and become crazy and then attack people, right? These numbers will increase as the disease spreads. Many of our own colleagues and staff here in Congress fell ill and passed. Coordinated attacks in allied nations in the days that followed um, made tens of thousands more pass. Okay. We are hearing that terrorists conducted smaller scale attacks in American cities and localities prior to the July 4th incident to test our defenses and gauge our I guess his response. I can't really read it. Okay, I'm not going to read it all. But reading that reminds me of where I'm getting my son's birthday, July 2nd, then 3rd, then 4th, and my lights flickering, the grids, like testing out the grids. I've said it for a long time that that's what they're doing, all these lights flickering. Okay, testing the grids for the everything to go down. I need to get this out. Okay, just like this, share this, comment. It makes things go out. It's not to make me popular. I could care less. I really don't want my face out there like that. But these warnings, this is the work that I'm doing for the Lord, and these warnings need to go out. Okay. Then ready? Okay. Okay. As I'm getting ready to finish up, the Lord drew my attention to this. I'm going to say this really quick. Okay. One day ago, now remember the dream that I put on about the great white and taking my husband under, and I was at the beach with my family. It was my son's dream, my oldest son's dream that lives in Texas. Okay. He told me the dream. He had it like 3 years ago. Okay. Um, it's on one of my videos. Okay. One day ago, a popular beach on high alert as largest great white ever recorded approaches fast. And my son's dream, he put his face on it. He said, Mom, this shark was so big. It was huge. Okay. Go back. I think I put it on maybe like this past week, like 5 days ago, 3 days ago or something. Then he drew my eyes to this. It says, listen, it's the Independent. Listen as Prince William attempts unexpected accent in BBC Radio 2 voice note. Why is he trying another accent? I've been given that for weeks about when I was given Anastasia. Not given for the first time, but when he led it to me a couple days ago again to watch Anastasia, and they were training her, and I was like, they're training an antichrist. They're training people to be of the system, right? But she had to like work on her language and her accent and how she did things and learning to do things and dance. And that just came up, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, you've got to be kidding me. Okay. Um, okay, I can't get stuck in this loophole. I got to finish and get this out. Okay. So then I was given more, but let me read these. Okay, because here's that thing I told you, right? It looks like a compass. It's my cross, and it's my bookmark that's in Daniel 12. At the end of that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble such as never was seen since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book of life, or written in the book, written in the book. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. The dead in Christ rise first, right? And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. Then I, Daniel, looked, and behold, there stood other two, and the one of this on one side of the bank of the river, and the other on that side of the bank of the river. And one said to the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, how long shall it be to the end of these wonders? And I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and swear by him that liveth forever, that it shall be for a time, times and a half. That's 3.5 years. And when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished. And I heard, but I understood not. Then said I, O my Lord, what shall be the end of these things? And he said, Go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand. but the wise shall understand. And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Blessed is he that waiteth and cometh to the 1,305 and 30 days. But go thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of the days. Okay, and this bookmark has Psalm 86 on it, so I'm going to read it. It actually says Psalm 86, verse 11. Okay, so I'm going to read that one first. Teach me thy way, O Lord. I will walk in thy truth. Unite my heart to unite my heart to fear thy name. So Psalm 86 says, Bow down thine ear, O Lord, hear me, for I am poor and needy. Preserve my soul, for I am holy. O thou my God, save thy servant that trusteth in thee. Be merciful unto me, O Lord, for I cry unto thee daily. Rejoice the soul of thy servant. For unto thee, O Lord, do I lift up my soul. For thou, Lord, art good and ready to forgive, and plenteous in mercy unto all them that call upon thee. Give ear, O Lord, unto my prayer, and attend to the voice of my supplications. In the day of my trouble I will call upon thee, for thou wilt answer me. Among the gods there is none like unto thee, O Lord, neither are there any words like unto thy works. Neither are there any works like unto thy works. All nations whom thou hast made shall come and worship before thee, O Lord, and shall glorify thy name, for thou art great and doest wondrous things. Thou art God alone. Teach me thy way, O Lord. I will walk in thy truth. Unite my heart to fear thy name. I will praise thee, O Lord my God, with all my heart, and I will glorify thy name forevermore. For great is thy mercy toward me, and thou hast delivered my soul from the lowest hell. O God, the proud are risen against me, and the assemblies of violent men have sought after my soul, and have not set thee before them. But thou, O Lord, art a God full of compassion and gracious, long suffering, and plenteous in mercy and truth. O turn unto me and have mercy upon me. Give thy strength unto thy servant, and save the son of thine handmaid. Shew me a token for good, that they which hate me may see it and be ashamed, because thou, Lord, hast holpen me and comforted me. Okay? If you don't know Jesus, come to Jesus. Let this second be the second. If you feel the tugging, answer right away. Respond right away. Come to Jesus. If you feel the tugging. If you don't feel the tugging, knock and it shall be answered. Come to Jesus anyway. Come to Jesus. If you're watching this, he's reaching you. He's reaching you. If someone has sent you to this, he's reaching you. He's calling out for you. Come to him. It's time. Come to him. Don't wait any longer. Amen. 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 Oh, okay. So I got woke up and God was like, you don't understand. This is a battle. We are at war. You can't just have another lazy day Sunday. And then he reminded me where he had said, I told you that we need to put on the whole armor of God. Again, I woke up from that spaceship dream. And he said, you don't understand. These are not my words. You don't understand. This is a battle. We are at war. You can't just have another lazy day Sunday. And then he reminded me, Jesus paid it all.